They're there when it counts. The most recent example of that is during the coronavirus pandemic. And when our community needed it, when they needed help, when local businesses needed help, the first organization to jump into action quickly and efficiently was the Horizon Community Funds. And that's where it counts.
In March of 2020, when Kentucky was shut down, essentially because of the pandemic, we started getting calls from seniors who were afraid to go outside, who had tried to go to the grocery store and were literally shoved. They said, "I can't compete for the food." Our demand for our services tripled overnight. The Horizon Community Funds engaged the community to give to a crisis relief fund, and it helped Meals on Wheels to make sure that seniors were able to access the groceries and meals and check-ins that they needed during a time when it was really scary and they were isolated.
As of now, Horizon Community Fund has given us 2 grants for financial relief that we have been able to help over 70 families with rent and utilities assistance throughout the pandemic. We also received a grant to provide kids that have been left back with regards to their education, give them a quality summer tutoring program.
Family Nurturing Center serves more than 30,000 people every year, children, adults, families, and we do that through a whole range of education, prevention, and treatment services. But the need for our counseling services grew exponentially during the pandemic. They came to us. They recognized the mental health crisis and they reached out and invited us to apply. And then they moved really quickly. The application process was simple. From the first discussion to check in hand, it was just a matter of a few weeks and we were able to hire a full-time counselor. With 97 kids on a waiting list, that counselor is a lifeline to those children. And when you think about the names on the waiting list and go beyond that and think, it's a 3-year-old that witnessed their parent overdose. It's a 5-year-old who was sexually abused. It's a 12-year-old who was trafficked. It becomes a lot harder to just keep them on a waiting list and say, we'll get to you when we can.
Horizon Community Funds is a newer community foundation. We are a public charity that was launched in 2017 by a group of very forward-thinking Northern Kentuckians who realized that we just weren't seeing the amount of charitable support being invested in our community. So we decided that it was time to find a vehicle that would allow our community to come together, Northern Kentuckians standing shoulder to shoulder to do more for the needs now and for generations to come.
One great advantage to partnering with a foundation like Horizon Funds is the level of comfort. It's really felt like a natural extension of the CTI team. So when we reach out, it feels like reaching out to a different department. It doesn't feel like reaching out to a different charity.
There's over 20 different zip codes in Northern Kentucky, Boone, Kenton, and Campbell, but they all start with 410. So with the 410 fund, young professionals can get involved and donate $410. And then we decide where that money goes, whether you're making a neighborhood garden or a park or a mural, like taking a small step and trying to make your community better, especially the community that I love, is really important.
Whether there's someone who can give $10 a week or someone who can give $100,000 to a particular fund. This is our way to come together in the community, regardless of your background, regardless of your local community, but together as Northern Kentuckians, we can create common good for the Commonwealth.
If there was any a time, especially in my life, that our community needed hope and needed a catalyst for hope that the Horizon Community Funds creates, it's now.
I can think of no other organization that's making a greater impact than the Horizon Community Fund.
I really truly believe that the Horizon Community Funds helped us to save lives.
Join us and help create lasting impact for our Northern Kentucky community, both now and for generations to come.